Yes guys, welcome back to another video. Welcome to the George Benson football channel for a brand new Chelsea FC news video. You guys have noticed that the Chelsea news videos have kind of been on the back burner a little bit recently because the transfer window closed. It's very evidently a very different period where we're more reacting and previewing matches as opposed to talking about gossip, news. But I think this week, particularly after the recent results, there are a lot of conversations that are happening right now about Chelsea, about future potential targets, about players that are currently on the books at the club that are playing for other Premier League clubs right now on loan or that are still out injured that can come back and potentially do the job of these supposed targets that we're looking to supposedly spend a load of money on. Before we get into anything today, there are a couple of stories I want to talk about. I want to ask you to subscribe to the George Benson football channel. I don't know if it's possible, but I want to really push for 200,000 before we leave what has been a chaotic 2020 and we move into 2021. And whilst you're at it, it really helps me out if you can hit the like button on the video, you know? I've made over 2,500 YouTube videos and I recorded a podcast yesterday with a friend of mine just talking about like my whole life on YouTube and stuff. And I just remember how important it is to ask for people to hit the like button because the numbers are so much different than when you don't. But without any further ado, I want to start off by promoting something that Reece James has been putting on his social media. I'm going to put up a couple of images on the screen now. Reece James is doing absolute bits right now. The kid is a youngster. He's broken into the Chelsea first team, talking about his quality on the football pitch. The guy is absolutely brilliant. He's got a massive career ahead of him, and he's doing very good things right now for the kids in London that may not necessarily have meals as a result of the coronavirus. So, as a Chelsea community, my good friend Alex Goldberg reached out to me on WhatsApp and said, we should all be trying to share the positive messages that our players are doing off of the pitch. And, you know, we've got a big audience here on GBFC. I would love for you guys, if you can, to go and check the links in the description. We can try and help Reece James get towards his 100,000 target. I've donated money myself, and I think we should all rally together to help Reece achieve one of his off-the-pitch goals that is clearly positive for every single person involved. I love seeing Reece doing this, and I do want to mention that Chelsea Football Club have been exemplary as a football club during this whole coronavirus, where there are some clubs that have laid off their mascots. There are some clubs that have furloughed their staff despite still playing their players or paying their players full wages. Chelsea have been brilliant. We gave away the Millennium Hotel to the NHS. We've got our players doing individual things to try and help out the communities. And it makes me proud, you know. Chelsea Football Club isn't just about playing 11 versus 11 on the weekend and then we react to the results. You know, it's a big family, it's a big community, and I would love for us here on GBFC to do as much as we possibly can. So I will leave a link to that in the description down below. There's also the small matter of the FIFA 21 giveaway that I did in yesterday's video, which was 6 things we learned against Burnley. If you haven't seen it, you should go and check it out. I know it was late, but again, massive thank you for all the love and support on that video. And I did pick the winner based off of the longevity and depth of the descriptions that big man Hugo gave. And the comment is on the screen now. If you really want to know what Hugo thought, you can pause the video, continue it once you've read it. It's a marathon, you know. I actually spent the time reading every single one of the comments yesterday. Went for breakfast this morning on my laptop and read things for about 3 hours, and it was lovely, you know, seeing you guys interact that way. And 6 things we learned. The idea with the series is always for us to go into as much depth as possible without the video being 20 flipping minutes long on what we're actually seeing build at Chelsea Football Club. And I thought the depth that Hugo went into, the way that he wrote it, was excellent. And it's exactly what I want from the comments of those videos. So Hugo, I will be in touch with you today, once this video goes live, to send you your copy of FIFA 21. So let's hope that for the sake of the content, I don't miss another day, because if I do, I'll be giving something else away. It could be a Chelsea kit, it could be anything you guys want. Let me know in the comments what it would be as my gift to you guys for missing days of uploading in November. But anyway, we've got the administration out of the way now. I want to discuss something that has raised its head once again. We saw a lot of links between Declan Rice, West Ham and Chelsea throughout the course of the summer, and it's starting to appear again. It's only about 8 weeks until the transfer window is back open in January, and Simon Phillips has reported that Chelsea are still ready to make a move for Declan Rice in January. There's a lot of things to discuss with this, particularly the price tag, whether Declan Rice comes straight into the Chelsea first team. Is there any underlying things about players that be looking to move on maybe in January or next season as a result of this signing coming in? There's also the small matter, as I mentioned at the beginning, of players like Ethan Ampadu, Billy Gilmour, Ruben Loftus-Cheek. I want to talk about him a little bit later as well. Is Declan Rice coming in for what is looking like a big money move? Is it A, fully necessary? Is Declan Rice that much better to warrant Chelsea Football Club putting in 60 million quid when we've got players that don't cost us anything other than wages, that are already on the books of the club, that have a lot of potential? Is it really necessary? Now, so far this season, West Ham have actually looked pretty good, and most of that has been when their manager David Moyes has actually not even been in the flipping stadium. So say about that whatever you will about David Moyes' managerial capabilities. West Ham haven't done too bad. Declan Rice has looked good. You know, he's one of the best players in that West Ham team. He's someone that they always call upon. Fitness-wise, Declan Rice is very good. He's played a lot of minutes in the Premier League at a very young age. When I look at comparisons to signings we made this summer and how they've immediately fit into this Chelsea squad, Ben Chilwell's the obvious one. You know, he's English, and a lot of these Chelsea players are English, they're very young. He's got that Premier League experience from coming from Leicester City. And Ben Chilwell has seamlessly fitted into this Chelsea setup. And what we see from him off the field as well is a very close connection with a lot of these Chelsea players. Not just the English players, but friendships are very easily being built right now at Chelsea. And I think it's very important, particularly when footballers' social lives are being taken away as a result of flipping lockdowns left, right and centre. I don't want to talk about lockdown anymore. I'm sure you guys are going to be, relying on me to entertain you while you're at home over the next few weeks. So we won't address any more on that. But there is a lot of positives when you look, and if you ignore the price tag, which is the big sticking point for me and a lot of people in the Chelsea community regarding going for Declan Rice, there is a lot of similarities that we could see, and I don't think it would take him very long to settle. I think despite the price, it would be a low-risk transfer in the sense of, if we look at what Declan Rice is good at, will it transition into a Chelsea system? Yes, I believe it would. The issues that I have are not only the 60 million price tag, but the big discussion with this one is, why is it fully needed when we've got someone like Billy Gilmour who's about to come back from injury, Ethan Ampadu on loan at Sheffield United, you got Ruben Loftus-Cheek on loan at Fulham? Is this just Chelsea looking to go out again and spend big money because we can on a player who might actually hinder the development and growth of other very talented players already on the books at the club? If we look at Billy Gilmour, before he got that injury at the end of last season, he was looking absolutely fantastic. When he came into the team, we saw 2 immediate man of the match performances against both Liverpool and Everton. People speak very highly about Billy Gilmour. You can see again, he's a player who is very liked amongst his Chelsea peers within that dressing room. And for me, Billy has got all of the potential to do a job that actually fits this Chelsea system very well, maybe even better than that of Declan Rice. We saw at the weekend N'Golo Kante put in a blue box-esque kind of performance to get himself in the 6 Things We Learned video. It was flawless from Kante. Even though he's not old, he's certainly getting on, and a young replacement for Kante is certainly something that will be on the Chelsea radar over the upcoming transfer windows. We know that football's going crazy in terms of player pricing, and Chelsea might be looking at the opportunity of Declan Rice as an opportunity to spend a lot of money, but still, if you look at Declan Rice's age, that price, as long as he continues to develop as a player at West Ham, it's only going to go up. West Ham are going to value him even higher. The more Premier League games he plays, the more he showcases his ability. But for me, I've changed my mind. I did want to see Declan Rice come in this summer. But Billy Gilmour, the more I look at the qualities that he has, his passing range, obviously the fact he's pretty short again, it gives him that ability to dribble, the low centre of gravity. He can carry the ball nicely, he can pass the ball, he can tackle. I feel as though he's got all the attributes already, and he's on the Chelsea books, he's in the first team squad, and I feel as though he's already got the things that we were looking from Declan Rice. When you look this season at this whole captain thing, we had a big discussion on the channel about who are the real leaders at Chelsea Football Club. In the summer, we thought Jorginho might have departed the club. As Azpilicueta's the Chelsea captain, Thiago Silva has come in, revolutionised the Chelsea defence. We know he's already captain material. We had the armband at the weekend as well. And Jorginho in the middle. And when you look at the strikers, you know, we're scoring goals, and that's all they really need to do. So if you look at Chelsea building a spine of the team, you've got Mendy in there, you've got Silva in there. At the moment, you've got Kante in that midfield, and you've got quality attacking players. Chelsea are building a spine of this team that doesn't necessarily need Declan Rice. It's very difficult to kind of create a balance within this argument, but I would love to know what you guys have to say in the comments down below. I focus mainly on Billy Gilmour because he is the obvious one. If we've bought in Thiago Silva, it's not like Chelsea need an immediate replacement for centre-back right now. Kurt Zouma is having a brilliant season. Tomori didn't get in the squad at the weekend. I still have no idea what's going on there. But Chelsea seem to have fixed, at the moment, their defensive issues. So Declan Rice is an option at centre-back. It isn't really what I want right now. And as a CDM, I think there's better options at the club. Ethan Ampadu is doing all right at Sheffield United, even though they are really struggling at this moment in time. But he looks pretty good. And I think as a CDM, that is where I see him in the future. I think he's only just about 6 foot tall, or maybe just under Ethan Ampadu. So I don't necessarily see him growing into a centre-back position. I do see him more of a CDM. So for me, I think with Ethan Ampadu there, Billy Gilmour there, I changed my mind about wanting to sign Declan Rice. In the summer, the reason I said yes is because I thought he was going to come in and play centre-back. We fixed that problem. We got Thiago Silva. What a legend he is. So that's where I stand on that one. Gonna wrap up this Chelsea news video now. It's the main story of the day. There's been a few tweets about it. I'm sure this one's gonna grow in importance within the Chelsea community over the course of the next couple of months, building up to that January transfer window. And if you don't want Declan in the window, is there a winger that you might want to see us go for this January? Let me know in the comments down below. Thank you guys for watching. As I said at the beginning, subscribe if you're new and hit the like button to help me out. And I will see you guys tomorrow with a preview for Rennes in the Champions League. And then 6 things we learned straight after the game. We're on fire now, I promise. See you all there. Bye-bye.